Good afternoon, my amazing class.
Good afternoon, my amazing teacher.
Compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. Both of these integers are negative, and I asked you to circle which one's closer to 0 and what's closer to 0.
55. 54.
I don't see a 54 on there.
Negative 54.
Negative 54. Negative 54 is what to negative 55?
Greater than.
Greater. Negative 54 is greater than negative 55. Get it? Got it? So A is my... Okay, I'm going to go and rewrite all of these and put these integers where the star would be located. And now I'm going to go determine what these inequality statements will be by justifying which one's correct. Negative 23 and negative 24. Negative 23 is going to be what to negative 24? Greater, so A is an answer. Negative 23 is what to negative 23? Negative 23 is what to negative 20? Less than. Negative 23 is what to negative 19? Okay, when I worked it out that way, I was justifying if it's greater, equal, or less. If you got this wrong, you need to do how I just did it. Okay, and I showed you how to do that yesterday down here on number 6. Okay, my next one, comparing using less than, greater than, or equal to. Which one's going to be closer to 0? So that means negative 32 is... Okay. Number 4, it asked you to put it from least to greatest. When I'm looking at this, I can get rid of 2 because it's 2 of them. Well, A and what? C, because they're nowhere in any kind of order. So when I look at B, is it least to greatest? Negative 70, negative 65, negative 56, negative 40. That is least to greatest. So B is my... And D is not my answer because it's greatest to least. Negative 230 and negative 232. Which one's closer to 0? So that means it's greater. 1/4. Negative 1/4. If I put 1/4 in the calculator, I find out that it's negative 0.25, and that's going to be equal. My next 2 problems, looking at 3, which one's going to be closer to 0? Okay, so that means negative 1.55 is... Alright, which one's closer to 0? And it will be greater than negative 4.6. Alright, you will be able to put this in your new sheet protector. I do have your labels, but I'll give them out at the end of class. Get it? Got it? Alright, coming around now is our packet. Please make sure you're following directions and we're not braiding hair.
Okay. Lisa, you please, don't look at me.
Get it? Got it?
You want for count?
Yes. I do.
We do.
Repeat name.
Name.
Okay. On number 1, it asked us to label the second quadrant. Well, we just went ahead and labeled all the what? Quadrants, just for a good review. This is a review of yesterday's lesson. We're going to make sure that we understand it before we begin today's. I am going to get you to plot this point, but I need it to be in the second quadrant. So what do I need to fix if it's going to be in the second quadrant? Because right now, where would this point be? It would be in quadrant what? 1, because it's positive and positive. Well, it needs to be in quadrant 2. Well, guys, for it to be in quadrant 2, what does X have to be? Negative. And what does Y have to be? Positive. So what do I need to change here? Needs to be -6. Go plot that. So I start at my reference point, which is 0, the origin, and I'm going to go which direction? Left. And then I'm going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to double check that. Okay. All right. So again, make sure you run. And in this instance, what did we do? Okay. In this instance, we jump. Well, we've learned in 6th grade, you might not jump. Now you might drop. Okay, so be careful. So what must be true about the coordinates of any point that lies in the second quadrant? Well, what has to be true about our X and Y? That's what it's asking. What's going to be true about our X coordinate and our Y coordinate? Okay, but which one? X is negative, Y is... So the X coordinate is negative, and the Y coordinate is positive. Okay, well now it says label the third quadrant. We already did it. But I want a point in the third quadrant, and what do we already know that the third quadrant will have to be? What did we learn yesterday about the third quadrant? The both X and Y will be negative. Okay, well, let's stick with our same numbers. What? But what do I need to do to these? Because right now those are quadrant 1. -6, -7. What am I about to tell you to go do? Label it, plot it. Label it, plot it. Either one. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left, and this one is going to be, instead of 7 up, we're going to drop it 7 down. So what's always going to be true? Okay, but my x will be negative, my y will be negative, and that's what I'm going to write out. My x coordinate is negative, and my y coordinate is negative because it's in quadrant 3. Don't y'all forget to say you're still cool. Okay, but if we look at our points here, they're very similar. What stayed the same between 1A and 2A? When you run? Okay, what would we call that run? The x coordinate stayed the same. And what changed? The y. What is 7 and negative 7 to each other, guys? Opposites. That's our lesson today. And when this happens, how far away is this point from 0? 7. How far away is this point from 0? 7. And I think I've miscounted. No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. Okay, so, but what 0 are we talking about here? Well, is this the origin? The x what? Axis. This is the x axis. Remember, we learned yesterday that the x-axis, the y-axis, and the origin can represent 0. Yes, sir? Okay, I'll get it from you later. Will you make sure there's one on Elisa's desk? It is? Okay, we'll get it in a little bit. Thank you. All right, classity class. That's today's lesson, is realizing what's staying the same. Well, our x is. What's changing? Our y did on this one. And they're related to each other because they have the same absolute value. And the relation is because of the x-axis is representing our 0. This one was 7 away from 0. This one is 7 away from 0. They have the same absolute value, but they have their y-coordinate is opposites. And this is actually called, our lesson today, it's called reflections. Imagine this axis here as a mirror, and you're reflecting these points, okay? And that's literally what we're learning about today. Does this seem hard? No. Okay. So let's finish out this lovely bill work here. It says, an ordered pair has coordinates that have the same sign. Well, we talked about this yesterday. If they have the same sign, an ordered pair, I'm talking about x and y being the same sign. So it could either be positive and positive, same sign, or negative and negative. And it says in which quadrants could those points lie? Quadrant 1 would be positive and positive. Quadrant 3 would be negative and negative and negative. But what if the signs are the opposite? What if the coordinates are the opposite? So let's just say my x and y this time. X will be positive and the y will be negative. Okay, I agree. Okay, and then if it's 2, what does our x have to be? Negative, and our y has to be positive. So that would be quadrant 2. And that's the only one that we forgot to label up here was quadrant 4 is positive and negative. I went back up here and labeled quadrant 4 as positive and negative. Okay. So just a reminder before we, I can just write it on the, yeah, I'll just write it on the next page, that reminder. But X we run left or right, Y we jump or drop. Get it? Got it? All right, so I need you to turn your page, and this lesson is not going to be long. Seems like it will be, but it's not. Once we get it going, it's going to move quickly like it did yesterday. What's up? I can. Right there. All right. If you are looking at lesson 16, symmetry in the coordinate plane, symmetry, we could also call it a reflection. You have learned that symmetry, you learned it in 4th grade, is when you split a shape into parts, and if you fold it on that line, it matches up. Do y'all remember that? Y'all did a little bit of it in 2nd grade, 4th grade. Now we're coming back to symmetry, but now we're going to talk about symmetry on a coordinate plane. And symmetry on a coordinate plane can be called reflections. And how they reflect is across the axis, either X or Y. And that axis is going to be representing 0. Got it? Okay, so just a reminder on absolute value, the lesson I didn't get to teach y'all in person. I had to teach y'all on video. Let's first give an example of two opposite numbers. Raise your hand. Give me a number. Any kind of number. Integer. Integer. Not a rational number. Integer. Jed. 3. All right. Amora, what would its opposite be? Okay, so I'm talking about 3 and -3. What is the location of 3 and -3 on a horizontal number line is what I'm going to be talking about. So I want you to think about 3. Where is 3 going to be? Well,
Right.
the right of what? That's right. Okay. It's located, we can say 3 is located 3 units to the right of 0. Okay. And again, this is a horizontal number line. Am I done describing 3 and -3? No, I still have to describe what? Okay, so now -3 is located 3 units to the left. You see why you need to know your left and your right? So they are opposite to each other, but they have this in common right here. They're 3 units away from each other, and that's called absolute value. The absolute value of 3, how far away is it from 0? Is 3. Everything inside becomes what? Positive. And then the absolute value of -3 will be 3. That's what this is describing here. Now, we've basically already described it, but there is a number line that I left off. Vertical. And we're going to describe it, but instead of to the left or right of 0, it's going to be up or down, above or below. So here, 3 is located 3 units above 0. And -3 is located 3 units below 0. And again, when we're talking about how far away it is from 0, that's absolute value. Okay, so that was a review on absolute value. Now we're going to take that absolute value in the opposite language that we just reviewed, and we're going to extend it to the coordinate plane. So just a reminder that X and Y, we run, then we jump or drop. Just matters on if it's positive or negative. You're going to run left or right if it's positive or negative, or you're going to jump or drop. Get it? Got it? Also, just a good review is that 0, 0 is called the origin, but we also learned a few other words that it could be called the starting point or the reference point. All right, we're ready. So it says locate and label your points on the coordinate plane to the right. For each given pair of points in the table below, record your observations and conjectures in the appropriate cell. Pay attention to the absolute values of the coordinates and where the points lie in reference to each axis, okay? So do they have the axis label? Nope. Remember, our horizontal number line is called our X axis, and then our vertical number line is called our Y axis. I want you to go find positive 3, 4, positive 3, positive 4, and label it A. I want you to find and label and plot 3, 4. And the best thing about this one is they have the numbers on there. You don't have to count the squares. When they have the numbers on there, it makes it a whole bunch what? Easier. So that will be labeled A. And then we're going to go and do negative 3, 4, which will be labeled B. And when I do this, I'm at the origin. I need to travel to the left 3 and then jump up to 4. Okay, so I have them plotted. We want to talk about what's similar. So, like, what's the same and what's different. Okay, and just like what we mentioned a while ago. So if I just look at the points and not even at the graph, if I just look at the points, I can see what's the same and what's different. What's the same?
4.
The 4s. Okay, what location is that in? X or Y? Y. So the Y coordinates are the same. Well, what's the difference of the coordinates? Okay, we could say they're not the same, but what are they truly to each other? Opposites. The X coordinates are opposite. Now, there is one more thing that's the same about the x's. If you look at our x's, 3 and negative 3, they do have something in common. They're both 3 units away from 0. So the x coordinates have the same absolute value. And this is why. How far away is A from 0? And in this instance, what is 0 going to be? The y-axis. How far away is B from 0? 1, 2, 3. How far away was A from 0? 1, 2, 3. So they're both 3 away from 0. And 0 here will be our y-axis. That's what we're crossing. When we went from A to B, what did we cross? What did we cross when we go from A to B? What axis? Y-axis. Okay? They're reflection. A and B are a reflection of each other because of the y-axis. They reflected across the y-axis. Okay, well, guess what stays the same? 3, 4 is what point? What? A. Well, now it wants us to go do 3, negative 4. That's a different point. We're going to label it C. So everybody go label and find C. Well, to find C, I need to go to the right 3, but now this time I don't go up 4, I go down 4. So if I just look at the numbers, now what stayed the same? And what points are those? What coordinate is that? The 3's. X or Y? X. So the X coordinates stay the same. But this time our what's opposite? And what is that called? What coordinate? The Y coordinates are opposites. But there is something similar about the Y coordinates. Because look, to get to our Y, they're both 4 and negative 4, and they're both 4 away from 0. But where did we find our 0? How do I relate to 0? What axis did I cross to go from A to C? X. So that means my Y coordinates have the same absolute value. It's not hard, but it's a lot of terminology. And if you do not know these terms that I'm stating and rewriting and mentioning over and over again, that's when it will get confusing for you. Okay. Looking at my last column here. 3, 4. Have we already done it? What letter is that? But have we done negative 3, negative 4? Nope. Guess what I'm going to label it? And at this point, you should know that negative 3, negative 4, if it's two negative numbers, they're both negative, what quadrant is it going to live in? Quadrant 3. So I'm going to go plot it. And label it. And it's wanting to know all about the difference between A to D. Well, this one's going to be a little bit different because does anything really stay the same in the sense of 3 and negative 3, my x's? Okay, they do have 3 and negative 3 have the same absolute value. And what is 3 and negative 3? They're the x coordinate. So the x coordinates have the same distance, the same absolute value. But what else has the same absolute value? 4 and negative 4, right? And that's called what coordinate? The y. But what's different? about these coordinates? X and Y are both what to each other?
Opposite.
Okay. So now, what am I crossing if I go from B to A? What did I just cross?
The y-axis.
What about from A to C?
The x-axis.
What about from C to D?
The y-axis.
The y-axis. From D to B?
The x-axis.
The x-axis. Okay. That's not that hard, is it?
No.
Okay. Okay. So now we turn the page. We're not doing the top boxes because we've literally mentioned everything in the other ones. What's up? Okay. So I want you to, do you see where it says exercises and each column write the coordinate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read that a little bit. Do not start it. Just read it. Get it? Got it? So this is where our lesson is truly coming in, where we're practicing that symmetry, but now we're going to call it reflections. And it did it for us starting out on this first column. We're going to be working on this first column right here. This is where we're working right now. Get it? Got it? Am I worried about any of those other points over here off to the right? No. Okay. So it gave us a given point, S53. Go find S53 and make sure they did do it right. Go find S53. If it's a positive 5, a positive 3, I know it lives in quadrant 1. Well, now it says take that given point and reflect it across the X. Well, if I'm at S, which is 5, 3, so everybody, I want you to watch what I'm doing. If I'm at S and it says reflect across the X, I have to cross the X. So watch. This is how I'm going to cross the X. And for it to be a reflection, it has to be equal. So it takes 3, 1, 2, 3 to get to the X. It has to be an equal amount for the reflection. You see how I'm crossing the X? 1, 2, 3. Where am I at now? M. Well, what is M going to be?
5 and 3.
So from S to M, you reflect across the X axis. You literally are crossing the X. Do you see how? Imagine if it says cross the X axis, go across the X axis, reflect across the X axis. Imagine that axis being a bridge. We're crossing that bridge. Get it? Got it? Okay. So to do that, you have to be equal. It's got to be both of them 3 away from 0. And 0 here is our, I'm about to sneeze. 0 here is our X. So now everybody get back started at S53. Everybody get back started at S53. We're back at S. Now we're going to reflect across the Y. Okay, well, how much does it take to get to the Y? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it takes 5 to get to the Y. Have I reflected yet?
No.
Nope, I got to go 5 more to the left. And when I do that, guess where I'm at? L. And what is L going to be?
Negative 5 to 3.
Negative 5 to 3. So it looks like we're going 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, but our signs will change. They'll differ, okay? Because it matters on what quadrant we end up in. Well, now, M was in quadrant Q4, and L is in Q what? 2. And what quadrant did we start out at? Q1. Now, if I look at my next one, everybody start back at S. Everybody start back at what? Put your pencil point on S. My first direction here says reflect across the X. Well, we already did that. Everybody reflect across the X with your pencil. I cross the X, and what letter am I at? But then it says now reflect across the Y. So I'm at the M, but now I need to reflect across the Y. Well, it takes 5 to get to the Y, and I need to reflect 5 more to the left. And what letter am I at now? A. Well, guys, write down that point. Negative 5, negative 3. It's in quadrant 3. They're both going to be negative. Okay, let's do one more. Everybody go back to your S. Everybody go back to your S. And now it says reflect across the Y. So which way am I going to go to cross the Y? I'm going to go to the left, which is going to take me to the L. And now cross the X. Well, it takes 3 to get to the X. I need to go 3 more down, okay? And now where am I at? A. And we already know what A is. What is A? We just went a different direction, but we still ended up at the same point because they made us reflect twice. Okay? Is this hard? No. All right, we're only going to do one more column, and then we're going to be reviewing for the rest of the day. Get it? Got it? We are going to be at this column. So I want all of you right now to go find 3, negative 2, and label it B. I want all of you to go find 3, negative 2, and label it what? B. Go find 3, negative 2, and label it B. To find 3, negative 2, I start at my origin, and I go to the right 3, and then I drop 2. What quadrant is that in?
4.
Now we're going to do just like what we did here. Reflect across the what first?
Y-axis. X-axis, I mean.
Thank you. Reflect across the X. Well, guys, which direction do I need to go to get to the X? Here's my X. I need to go up. How many did it take?
2.
Well, that means I need to reflect.
2 times.
Go up 2 more. What do you think I'm going to label that point?
3, 2,
C. So, guys, what is C going to be?
3.
It's in quadrant 1. We're using the same base numbers, but what's up with these? Now that we're in quadrant 1, I no longer have a positive and a negative. Now I have a positive and a positive. Okay, everybody go back to B. Put your pencil point on B. Now they want us to reflect across the Y. Which direction am I going to go to get to the Y? And how many did it take? 3. And now I need to go 3 more to the left to make it a perfect symmetrical reflection. And we're going to label it. I already did C, so now I'm going to label it D. What quadrant are we in, guys? And we know in quadrant 3, X and Y are both going to be negative, but what's my numbers here? What's my X? And then negative 2. All right. Everybody start back at B. You got your pencil point on B? In this column, what do they ask you to reflect across first? Well, what happens when we reflect across the X? What label are we at? C. And then now it wants us to reflect across the Y. Well, to do that, we got to go left 3, and then 3 more to the left, and we're going to label that E. So, guys, we are now in quadrant 2, and we know quadrant 2 has a negative X and a positive Y. Well, my negative X is negative 3, but a positive 2. Now, everybody go back to that pencil point of B. Now, my next row says reflect across the Y. Well, if I reflect across to the Y, I'm at what letter? D. I already did that, but now I need to reflect again, but go across the X. So now I need to go up 2 and 2 more. And gets us to E, and we already know what it is. It's in quadrant 2, and it's negative 3, 2. Is this hard? But if you do not know your X and your Y, you're not going to know what to cross. So do you see why you need to know what's your X axis, what's your Y axis, what's your X coordinate, what's your Y coordinate? What kind of points are in quadrant 1? Positive X, positive Y. What kind of points are in quadrant 2? A negative X and a positive Y. What kind of points are in quadrant 3? Negative X and negative Y. What kind of points are in quadrant 4? A positive X and a negative Y. So do you see the things that you need to study? It's a lot of terms that could be confusing. But is it hard? No. And the only reason why we can do these reflections is because of absolute value, and we can reflect by asking how far away is it from 0. Okay? And that's what we're going to practice now. And it's going to be homework. I'm only going to do numbers 1 through 6 with you on homework, and it's coming around now. Your homework is coming around now. Just a reminder on absolute value. Yesterday I told you, you see these touchdown motions? And I told you everything inside becomes what? Positive. But if there's a negative symbol, it's no longer going to be positive. Now it's going to stay negative because of that tricky little symbol on the outside. When we are examining absolute value, it does not look like opposites. Opposites are parentheses. Opposites are what? Absolute value are straight lines. They mean two different things. Opposite, you find the opposite of the number. Absolute value, you're finding the distance from 0. So what's the distance from 0 for 86? So the absolute value of 86 is 86. The absolute value of 62 is? Does everybody have one for now?
You want me to take some off the...
Yeah, I'll make more. I probably ran out of copies. It's fine. All right, so if we look at 4, uh-oh, I got a ring-a-ding-ding. It's trying to trick you. The absolute value of 23 is 23, but there's a symbol on the outside. Okay. And then the absolute value of 89 will be 89. And then the absolute value of negative 41 is 41. Was that symbol on the outside? No. So it becomes what? Positive. So your homework tonight will be numbers 7 through 20. Do you have time to get it done right now?
No.
What?
Yes.
Don't be a turd. All right. So, game plan. You're listening. Homework 7 through 20. Mission 5 is due. No. I had it down on do the due now. The 21st. Okay. Right before Thanksgiving break. Which that next week is going to be the 21st. 8 days. Okay. Class. Also, you have AR due that same day. So, do you have things to get done? If you are done with Mission 5, awesome. If you're done with AR, awesome. Then you're on bottle. Okay? I know a few of you, I owe you time because I told you could do your coupon from the benchmark. And that's fine. Just get your homework done first. Okay? Homework done first, and then you can do your coupon from benchmark. Not from yesterday's coupon sheet. Okay? Alright. Does everybody understand what we're working on? Are we going to be chatty Cathy's and chatty Chads? No, we're going to be working. Not braiding hair. Not giving each other funny little eyes. Or ugly faces. Or I'm going to have to tell you to fix your faces. Everybody pencil to paper. Eyes on the target. Tell them bye.